The text message wasn't meant for LeBron James. But when his phone buzzed during Lakers practice and he saw the photo, his blood ran cold. There was his ex-girlfriend Adrienne, smiling in the arms of someone he trusted. Someone who sat next to him in team meetings. Someone who called him brother. Kyle Kuzma had no idea LeBron was standing right behind him. What happened in the next 5 minutes would become legendary in NBA locker room history. But before I tell you about LeBron's response that left everyone speechless, you need to understand why this betrayal cut so deep. Let me take you back to 2019. LeBron James was in his first season with the Lakers, trying to build chemistry with a young, hungry team. Kyle Kuzma was the promising rookie who reminded LeBron of himself at that age. Talented, ambitious, but still learning what it meant to be a professional. LeBron had taken Kuzma under his wing. Late-night film sessions, personal workout invitations, even family dinners at the James mansion. In Kyle's eyes, LeBron wasn't just a teammate. He was a mentor, almost like an older brother. But there was something else Kyle knew about LeBron. Something personal that only a few people in LeBron's inner circle were aware of. 3 years earlier, before Savannah and LeBron renewed their wedding vows, they had gone through a rough patch. LeBron had briefly dated Adrienne Bailon, the singer and TV personality. It wasn't serious, but it was real. And it was during one of the most vulnerable periods of LeBron's life. Kyle knew this story. LeBron had trusted him with it during one of their late-night conversations. March 15, 2020. Lakers practice facility. The team was preparing for what would be their championship run, though nobody knew the pandemic was about to change everything. LeBron was reviewing film on his tablet when Kyle's phone, sitting on the bench next to him, lit up with a notification. It was an Instagram message preview, and the profile picture made LeBron's heart skip a beat. Adrienne Bailon. LeBron glanced at Kyle, who was across the gym working on free throws, completely oblivious. The message preview showed just enough. "Can't wait to see you tonight." LeBron's mind raced. This had to be innocent. Maybe Kyle was working on some music project with Adrienne. Maybe it was business. There had to be an explanation. But then Kyle's phone buzzed again. This time, it was a photo message. And what LeBron saw made his blood turn to ice. It was Adrienne, in Kyle's apartment, wearing one of his Lakers hoodies, making breakfast. The timestamp showed it was from that morning. LeBron sat there, staring at the phone, feeling a mix of emotions he hadn't experienced since his early days in Cleveland. Betrayal, anger, disappointment. But underneath it all was something else. Hurt. It wasn't about Adrienne. LeBron was happily married to Savannah, had 3 beautiful children, and that chapter of his life was long closed. It was about trust. Kyle knew about Adrienne. Kyle knew that relationship had happened during one of the most difficult periods of LeBron's marriage. Kyle knew how much LeBron valued loyalty above everything else. And Kyle had chosen to pursue her anyway. In secret. LeBron closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He could feel his temperature rising, his fists clenching. Every instinct told him to march across that gym and confront Kyle right there in front of everyone. But then he remembered something his mother Gloria had always told him. The difference between a man and a boy isn't how hard you can hit, it's how smart you fight back. LeBron slowly placed Kyle's phone back on the bench, exactly where he found it. He stood up, walked to the bathroom, and looked at himself in the mirror. "Stay calm," he whispered to himself. "Stay smart." When he returned to practice, he acted like nothing had happened. But inside, LeBron James was planning something that would become legendary. That night, LeBron couldn't sleep. He lay in bed next to Savannah, staring at the ceiling, his mind working like a chess grandmaster planning his next 15 moves. He could expose Kyle publicly. He could trade him. He could make his life miserable. But that wasn't the King's way. Instead, LeBron decided to do something that would teach Kyle, and everyone watching, a lesson about loyalty, respect, and what it means to be a true professional. The next morning, LeBron called Kyle into his office at the practice facility. "Kyle, we need to talk." Kuzma walked in with his usual cocky smile, completely unaware that his world was about to change. "What's up, King? You got some new plays to show me?" LeBron gestured to the chair across from his desk. "Sit down." Kyle sat, still smiling, still clueless. "Kyle, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to think very carefully before you answer. Is there anything going on in your personal life that you think I should know about?" The smile slowly faded from Kyle's face. His eyes darted around the room, avoiding LeBron's intense stare. What do you mean?" LeBron leaned back in his chair, his voice calm but carrying the weight of authority. "Kyle, let me tell you something about myself. I've been in this league for 17 years. I've seen every type of player, every type of person. I know when someone is lying to me." Kyle's face was turning red. Sweat was beginning to form on his forehead. "LeBron, I don't know what you're talking about." "Adrienne Bailon." The two words hung in the air like a thunderclap. Kyle's mouth fell open. The color drained from his face completely. How did you? How did I find out?" LeBron's voice remained eerily calm. "Kyle, you left your phone next to me yesterday. You got a text message with a photo." Kyle buried his face in his hands. "LeBron, I can explain. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think," LeBron interrupted. "You're dating my ex-girlfriend. The same woman I told you about during one of our private conversations. The same woman who was part of a very difficult time in my life. And you've been hiding it from me." Kyle looked up, tears actually forming in his eyes. "I didn't mean for it to happen. We connected. And stop." LeBron held up his hand. "I don't want to hear about your connection. I want to know why you thought it was okay to betray my trust." What happened next shocked Kyle to his core. LeBron smiled. Not an angry smile. Not a sarcastic smile. A genuine, almost proud smile. "Kyle, do you know what I'm going to do about this?" Kyle shook his head, terrified. "Nothing." Kyle blinked. "Nothing?" "Absolutely nothing. I'm not going to tell Coach. I'm not going to tell the team. I'm not going to make your life difficult. I'm not even going to be mad at you." Kyle stared at LeBron like he was speaking a foreign language. "But I am going to teach you something," LeBron continued, his voice carrying a weight that made Kyle lean forward. "You want to date Adrienne? That's your business. You want to keep secrets from your teammates? That's your choice. But you're about to learn what it means to play alongside a man you've disappointed." Kyle's confusion was written all over his face. "I don't understand." LeBron stood up, walked around his desk, and placed his hand on Kyle's shoulder. "Kyle, I'm going to make you into the player you have the potential to be. I'm going to push you harder than I've ever pushed anyone. I'm going to demand excellence from you in every practice, every game, every moment. And when you succeed, and you will succeed, you're going to understand what loyalty really means." What followed over the next 3 months was unlike anything the Lakers had ever seen. LeBron didn't punish Kyle. He elevated him. In practice, LeBron would find Kyle after every drill. "That was good, but you can do better. Show me again." In team meetings, LeBron would specifically ask for Kyle's input. "What do you think about this play, Kyle? How would you defend it?" During games, LeBron started feeding Kyle the ball more than ever before. Perfect passes that set Kyle up for easy scores. Screens that freed him up for open shots. LeBron was making Kyle look like a star. But there was something else happening that Kyle began to notice. Every time LeBron helped him succeed, every time LeBron made him look good, Kyle felt worse about himself. Why is he doing this? Kyle confided to Anthony Davis after a particularly strong game where LeBron had assisted on 4 of Kyle's baskets. AD looked at him with a knowing smile. You still don't get it, do you? Get what? He's showing you what you threw away. 2 months into LeBron's punishment, Kyle was having the best season of his career. His stats were up. His confidence was soaring. Sports analysts were calling him a breakout star. But inside, Kyle was miserable. Every perfect pass from LeBron felt like a reminder of his betrayal. Every encouraging word felt like a weight on his conscience. Every moment of success felt hollow because he knew he didn't deserve LeBron's kindness. The breaking point came on a Tuesday night in Denver. Kyle had just scored 28 points, a career high, almost entirely on assists from LeBron. As they walked to the locker room, Kyle finally couldn't take it anymore. LeBron, stop. The King turned around in the tunnel, away from cameras and teammates. Stop what? Stop being nice to me. Stop helping me. Stop making me look good. Kyle's voice was cracking. I don't deserve it. LeBron studied Kyle's face for a long moment. Now you're starting to understand. Kyle, LeBron said, his voice soft but firm. Do you know why I didn't yell at you? Why I didn't trade you? Why I didn't make your life hell? Kyle shook his head. Because punishment would have been easy. It would have made you angry at me instead of disappointed in yourself. It would have given you someone to blame. LeBron stepped closer. But by treating you with respect, the respect you didn't show me, I forced you to face the truth about what you did. Every time I passed you the ball, you had to remember that you betrayed someone who trusted you. Every time I helped you succeed, you had to live with knowing you didn't earn that kindness. Kyle's eyes were filling with tears. The guilt you're feeling right now, that's not punishment, Kyle. That's growth. That's you becoming a better man. Kyle stared at LeBron for a long moment, then did something that surprised them both. He laughed. Not a happy laugh. A bitter, self-aware laugh of someone who had just realized how completely they'd been outplayed. You're a genius, Kyle said, shaking his head. A complete genius. I'm not a genius, Kyle. I'm just someone who's learned that the best way to defeat an enemy is to turn them into a friend. And the best way to teach someone about loyalty is to show them what they're missing when they don't have it. Kyle took a deep breath. LeBron, I need to tell you something. About Adrienne and me. LeBron held up his hand. Kyle, I don't need to know the details. That's between you and her. But I do need to know one thing. What? Are you ready to be the teammate and the man I believed you could be when I first took you under my wing? Kyle nodded, tears now flowing freely. Yes, but LeBron, I need to make this right. How? I'm going to end it with Adrienne. Tonight. It was never about her anyway. I was just trying to, I don't know, prove something to myself. That I could get what the King had gotten. LeBron's eyebrows raised. So this was about competing with me? Maybe. I was young and stupid and thought I needed to prove I was on your level somehow. Kyle wiped his eyes. But all I proved was that I'm not even close to your level. Not as a player, and definitely not as a man. LeBron placed both hands on Kyle's shoulders. Kyle, you want to know the real truth? The reason I could forgive you so easily? Kyle nodded. Because I've been in your shoes. When I was young, I made mistakes trying to prove I belonged. I hurt people who cared about me because I was insecure about my place in the world. LeBron's voice became more personal than Kyle had ever heard it. The difference is, I had people who punished me for those mistakes. They made me defensive, angry, resentful. I learned to fight back instead of learning to be better. Kyle, what I did to you, showing you kindness when you expected punishment. That's not just about basketball. That's about life. That's about being the kind of man who can turn enemies into allies, who can transform betrayal into growth. Kyle was listening with complete focus now. In 5 years, you're going to face a situation where someone betrays you. Someone you trust is going to hurt you. And in that moment, you'll have a choice. Do you destroy them, or do you try to build them up? LeBron smiled. Today, you learned what it feels like to be built up by someone you hurt. Remember that feeling. Use it. Kyle extended his hand, but LeBron pulled him into a hug. We good? LeBron asked. We're more than good, Kyle replied. We're brothers. For real this time. That night, Kyle did exactly what he promised. He ended things with Adrienne, not out of obligation to LeBron, but because he realized he had been dating her for all the wrong reasons. The Lakers went on to win the championship that year. Kyle played some of the best basketball of his career in the playoffs. And in every post-game interview, he credited one person, LeBron James. But the real payoff came 2 years later. Kyle had been traded to the Washington Wizards, where he was now a team leader. A young rookie named Corey Kispert was struggling, making the same kinds of mistakes Kyle had made as a young player. Instead of getting frustrated with Kispert, Kyle pulled him aside after practice. Corey, let me tell you a story about the time I betrayed LeBron James and how he taught me the most important lesson of my life. Kyle spent the next hour telling Kispert everything: the betrayal, the guilt, LeBron's legendary response, and the transformation that followed. So when I see you making mistakes, Kyle concluded, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to bench you. I'm going to do what LeBron did for me. I'm going to show you what you're capable of becoming. Kispert became one of the most improved players in the league that season. 3 years after that legendary conversation in the Denver tunnel, Kyle and LeBron faced each other as opponents for the first time. Lakers versus Wizards. Nationally televised game. Before tip-off, they met at center court. You ready for this, young fella? LeBron asked with a grin. I learned from the best, old man. Kyle shot back. During the game, they went at each other hard. No mercy, no holding back. Kyle scored 32 points. LeBron had 28 points, 12 assists, and 8 rebounds. The Lakers won by 3. After the game, in his post-game interview, Kyle was asked about competing against his former teammate. LeBron James taught me that the highest form of respect you can show someone is to give them your absolute best, Kyle said. Tonight, I gave him everything I had because that's what he deserves. That's what brothers do. When LeBron was asked the same question, his answer made headlines around the world. Kyle Kuzma is living proof that the most powerful weapon isn't revenge, it's redemption. Watching him become the man and leader he is today? That's better than any championship ring. Today, Kyle Kuzma tells this story to young players across the league. It's become known as the LeBron lesson. The idea that true leadership isn't about punishing people for their mistakes, but about helping them become better than their worst moments. In his recent interview with ESPN, Kyle was asked what he learned from that experience. I learned that there are 2 types of strong people in this world, Kyle said. Those who tear others down to build themselves up, and those who build others up even when they've been torn down. LeBron showed me what true strength looks like. And what does true strength look like? The interviewer asked. Kyle smiled, the same way LeBron had smiled at him in that office 4 years ago. True strength is loving someone enough to make them face their own reflection, and then helping them like what they see. So the next time someone betrays your trust, remember LeBron and Kyle. Remember that punishment might satisfy your anger, but redemption can transform a person's entire life. Remember that the most legendary responses aren't always the loudest ones. Sometimes they're the quietest, the most unexpected, the most generous. Kyle Kuzma thought he was betraying LeBron James. Instead, he gave LeBron the opportunity to show the world what true leadership looks like. And maybe that's the most legendary part of all. What betrayal in your life could become a lesson in leadership? What enemy could you turn into an ally with kindness instead of revenge? Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't to destroy someone who hurt you. It's to build them up until they can't live with disappointing you again. That's the King's way. That's LeBron's legacy. And that could be your story too. Have you ever been surprised by someone's kindness after you hurt them? Share your story in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories that reveal the real psychology behind greatness.